Well, meet and welcome the new freshman class. 75 new lawmakers sworn into the House of Representatives this month. And among the freshman class, Republican Congressman Morgan Luttrell of Texas, now representing the state's 8th congressional district. He is clear on the issues important to him, for sure. Immigration, abortion, first and foremost. He's also a former Navy SEAL, so he knows how to fight and uphold the core values of honor, courage, and commitment. He joins me now to talk about his first term and the plans he has for the people of Texas. Good to see you.
Good to be seen. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'll tell you, we have a lot to talk about, Congressman. I first have to ask you about the breaking news. Classified documents found at the Indiana home of former Vice President Mike Pence. Just your reaction and what you think needs to be done from here. I mean, we're now talking about Trump, Biden, and Pence.
Yeah. It does seem like there's a lot to unpack today. And I'll say this about classified documents, especially in the military, that it's such a challenge to get your classification level. Like when I was in the SEAL teams, it took years to get from secret to top secret SCI. So I don't take any of that lightly, but in these circumstances now, there are rules in place that will hold people accountable. I don't care who it is. And that's what we should watch unfold. And I know that this is such a hot button topic because it seems to be going back and forth between the Democrats and Republicans. But I'll always say, just let the system play itself out, because these rules have been in place for a long time. And that's if we don't rush to judgment and we let all the facts come out and then we hold people accountable, that's what I want to see.
Let's talk about these mass shootings that we have seen just this week. You know, and already the same conversation, Morgan, is happening about gun reform, Second Amendment. Let's just cut right to it. You were a Navy SEAL. You know guns. You know how they are used responsibly. What's it going to take to keep them out of the hands of people who storm dance halls, grocery stores, schools, and kill innocent people and children?
One thing that I've seen in my time in the military, overseas fighting in 2 wars, is if the bad actors will always find a way. And as someone who defended the freedoms of people overseas and the freedoms of the American public carrying a gun, I'll never blame the weapon system for these atrocious acts that people are committing against these innocent people. This is one of those debates it's very near and dear to my heart because I'm a Second Amendment guy. And if we were just to move laterally, like what can we do? What is the root cause, and how can we affect? As a boy, 2, 3, 4 years old, my father, my grandfather taught me what a weapon system could do, how to handle the weapon systems, and the outcomes if you improperly employed a weapon system. So we've always been around guns, and I think there's a loss there, as well as, you know, you can add mental health into the mix. You can just the nuances are just forever.
Is the focus more for you on mental illness than it is gun reform? Because it seems this gun reform debate has been going on for decades, but there is more we can do about mental illness and helping those. Every time we cover one of these mass shootings, Morgan, we learn there were signs. There was a background. People did know things.
As someone who has a mental health background in my studies in academia, it's on the forefront. It is. How do we? It's a sheer numbers game. You never be able to pick every single person out. We need to be more responsible, and I hate to just put the onus on all of us, but if the signs are there, say something. If the signs are there, should we be collectively more aggressive and not afraid to call somebody out for something that they're doing? I think we've kind of gotten away from that. It seems like, hey, look, you can't say anything to anybody anymore because it's hateful, you're not inclusive. The list goes on and on. But if we understand that these people that 9 times out of 10, I don't know if that's the right number, but are doing these acts, and the signs were there, why didn't we say something earlier? That's frustrating.
You are one of a dozen Texas Republicans now battling to boot Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas for the border crisis. I read your op-ed. You even used Mayorkas's words that our immigration system is fundamentally broken and a solution is long, long overdue. That is the quote from Mayorkas. So what is your solution then?
First and foremost, we have to secure the border. And I like to triage the border and immigration. They're two different silos, which they shouldn't be in silos. But we have to stop the proverbial bleed. I live on being a border state in a district that's affected by illegal immigration. There's people dying in my state from illegal immigrants coming across. Not to mention the fentanyl problem. Mayorkas has failed in his fiduciary responsibilities to protect my fellow Texans and all the other border states, and it has to end, and it has to start with applying the pressures on the laws that are in place. They're there. They just seem to glaze over them and don't care to enforce them. And that's one of the major problems. If we can get that started and stop that flood, then we can walk it backwards and start chipping away at the immigration reform problem. And then moving everyone that came over illegally, starting to move them across the chessboard as well.
Congressman Morgan Luttrell, Texas 8th District. I hope that we have many more interviews to come, and we talk about all the moves you're making to make an impact on this country. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. Yes, ma'am.
You bet.